Well, hello there. It's Mr. Johnson here, head teacher at Maiden Early School in Reading, and I'd like to welcome you to what I hope will become a regular video update from myself about what's going on in the school. Just a different way, perhaps a more accessible way for some of us to access information about our great school. So obviously, this week we've been welcoming back our students, and it's been such a successful week. Lovely to see the Year 7s join us last Friday, and they had a brilliant day just getting to know the school, meeting staff, finding their way around the school building, all of those sorts of things. And it's been great for us to meet the year groups one by one as they come back into school to talk about the plans for our year, reaffirming our high standards and our expectations. We really want this year to be a year where we accelerate what we're doing after all of the restrictions that we've had to go through for the last 2 years. So it's just been wonderful, and it's been nice to see smiley faces, happy children, smart uniforms, and everybody getting back to what we do so well here, which is fantastic education. We've particularly been talking to students about what we're calling the MER way. And we've done this for a number of years now, but it's just felt, particularly this year, with all of the disruption of the last 2 years, that perhaps we just needed to reaffirm our expectations and just go over and teach the students our expectations around their conduct, how they behave in school, and what kind of behaviours and what kind of choices they make, which are going to help them to make the most out of their time here at Maiden Early School in Reading. So we call that the MER way. 3 basic rules really, which is about being ready, being safe, and being respectful. And you can see on the right hand side there some posters, a picture of some posters that we've got around the school in each classroom, etc., just to remind us of what the expectations are. I want to particularly focus, if I can, on mobile phones. I wrote to you as parents before the summer, and another reminder earlier on last week about our mobile phone policy this year, which is really clear. We don't think that it's a great idea for mobile phones to be in school. We understand that students may wish to carry them for security and safety. However, we don't want to see them in schools. There's no need for them. We think they can be a distraction and can be whilst sometimes a good thing, for us in schools it's just good to have that really clear line on mobile phones. So what we're saying to students is that mobile phones must be off, must be away where they feel comfortable, sometimes in a blazer pocket, sometimes in a bag, sometimes in their locker. That's fine, as long as it's off, as long as it's away, then we're happy with that. If we do see a mobile phone out, it will be taken, confiscated, and held in student services for the rest of that day. And if it's a persistent problem, then we may well invite you as parents into the school to discuss the matter and to collect the phone yourself. Most, 90–95%, even more of our students have followed that instruction and been brilliant about it this last week. 1 or 2 that are just adjusting their own approach to that, and we're working with those students, and it's going very, very well. So thank you so much for your support on that. We've also been focusing over the last few days on testing. You'll know that over the last week or so we've delivered tests to all students who gave permission and wished to do so. They've all had 2 tests now in school. Interestingly, we picked up a small number of positive cases, and so that just shows you that it was very well worth doing. Those students were fine, no symptoms, but are carrying the COVID virus. So it was important to be able to sort of do that screening right at the beginning of the year and keep the community safe. It also, I suppose, reminds us of the importance, the absolute importance of doing those tests at home, and we'll make sure that students have plenty of the lateral flow tests in the blue and white boxes. We'll make sure that we keep you fully supplied with those. What we're asking is that students do testing twice a week, and that will certainly last until half term. My guess will be way beyond that as well. Also, just to let you know that tracing any contacts of people who have tested positive is now the responsibility not of the school but of NHS Track and Trace. So we won't be doing that in school. However, obviously, if we're asked questions to assist NHS Track and Trace, we'll be obviously offering our full support to that. Other ongoing protective measures that we're keeping in school, things like hand sanitising, cleaning those desks at the end of lessons, and just reminding students that there's no need to be too close to one another. We have a hands-off policy in the school, and that, I suppose, that's the social distancing that we kind of want going forward. But it has been lovely actually for teaching staff to get out from those boxes that they were confined to for the last year, and get out amongst the students and build those relationships on which we know fantastic learning and education happens. So a great period of time for testing, and that's gone very smoothly, very successfully. Just to let you know that over the next few weeks we'll be having some parent information evenings where we'll be inviting you back into school. Again, great to be able to do that rather than to do it just over Zoom. You'll be able to hear from the heads of year and members of the school leadership team about what's coming up, key events and dates, and how we can work together to support students to fulfil their full potential. You'll notice there that there's not an initial meeting for year 8. That's going to come a little bit later in the year when we invite you in to talk about the options process. However, Mr. Bandy is going to prepare a video communication, I suppose a little bit similar to this, just to give year 8 parents an overview of what's going on in the year. So look out for that. But please put those dates in your diary. It'd be lovely to see as many of you as possible. Last about 45 minutes, maybe 50 minutes, and you've got the dates there. I've asked the heads of year to write to you. I believe they all have, just to let you know about that and one or two other things going on in each year group. Other thing coming up soon for us at the end of the month is our open events. Many of you will have been to an open event here before when deciding about where your child was going to come to secondary school. So we're doing that again for the current primary school children, year 6s, who will be coming up. But do spread the word. Lovely to have people back in the building, and we're looking forward to that event. So please do let others know that is happening this year on the 28th of September if you can, and just to support the school. We also had really good news this week. Just at the back end of last year, we had a special visitor into school who I suppose did a very rigorous evaluation of the work we do around supporting maths and English skills in the school. And we, as a result of that, have been re-awarded. We already had it for the first time. We got this back in 2016, but we now have a re-accreditation of the quality mark, secondary quality mark for basic skills, which recognises the strength and support we provide for students developing key skills in maths and English, which, as you know, is so important. Very rigorous external assessment of the curriculum, lots of discussions with staff and students, and we've got some really great feedback there. And I've included a quote on the screen for you, that this school has continued to grow and thrive despite the challenges of the pandemic, ensuring all groups of pupils, and that includes our special educational needs students, those who have and need additional help, as well as those who are perhaps more able and looking to accelerate and progress even further. All groups of people make strong progress in English language, literature, and in numeracy and mathematical reasoning. So that was a really nice thing to get this week, and a great validation of the work that we're doing across the school. So that's it for now. Thank you for watching. I hope you've enjoyed this. Do give me some feedback if you have any on this approach. Is it working for you? We'll do this for a few weeks and get a little bit of feedback. If you do need any help at all, please do contact the school. Lots of ways that you can do that. We always encourage people, if you can, to email, because then it helps us to manage the flow of requests and contacts that come into the school. Please also do check us out on Twitter as well, and I'll make sure next week I include the Twitter address there. But that's often a great place to see pictures, just to hear and see little stories about what's going on in school life. Thank you for watching, and have a great weekend.